Welcome to the first Cool Stuff Share Out at the new East Washington location. Jesse, of course, sent an email out asking if anyone had anything cool they wanted to share. And this being a Monday, we want to set ourselves up to be inspired and be inspiring. So I thought I would bring in a new gadget that I received as a gift for Father's Day. I've played guitar for a long time, but in the past 10 years, haven't found nearly enough time to play my guitar. And that's partially because it's tucked away in a case, in a closet, and getting my guitar out, and an amplifier, and some of the other gear that I need just is a pain. And my wife and son decided that they would buy me a Father's Day gift that would allow me to play my guitar in the living room. I could leave my gear out, and they found this amp from Fender that I had been looking at and talking about recently in my Safari bookmarks, and contacted Guitar Center and went and bought it for me for Father's Day. So this is the Mustang GT40. It retails for $250. It's not the best sounding amplifier in the world, but it has a lot of cool features that make it an amp that I can turn to in the living room and play all the time. There's this saying, I don't know who it's attributed to, about cameras. The best camera is the one that you have with you. So if we think about what has happened in the world since 2007, when the iPhone was introduced and smartphones really blew up, a lot more people take pictures, and they're sharing pictures on Facebook and Instagram, and I think this amp is trying to be that for guitar players. The guitar industry has been suffering. Not a lot of people are buying guitars when they once did. Maybe they're spending that $250, $300 on a tablet or some other kind of discretionary purchase. And Fender, like a lot of companies in the musical instrument industry, are trying to find ways to innovate and get people playing guitars. And I think this is one step in the right direction. They've invested a lot in their digital products recently. They have an app to help you tune your guitar. They have a web-based application that helps you learn how to play guitar, because something like 80% of the people who buy their first guitar stop playing it within the first year. So there's a big obstacle there, getting people to continue playing. And the latest effort is what's inside of this little amplifier. So this is a 40-watt amplifier that has two 6.5-inch speakers. It doesn't pack a big punch. You're probably never going to go to a show and see someone playing a gig off of this amplifier, but in your home, in your small personal recording studio, it has a lot of features that make it good for just picking up your guitar and playing. So what's exciting about this, and why I wanted to share it with Design Concepts, is that this is a IoT guitar amplifier. This amp has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So it has Wi-Fi because it can receive over-the-air firmware updates. And since I received this as a gift for Father's Day, there have been 3 firmware updates. It also has Bluetooth. So with Bluetooth, as you heard as you were coming into the hub today, I can stream audio to the amplifier over Bluetooth. So if I had a track that I was learning to play, I could stream that through the amp and I could play along with it. It also has a really cool free app that comes with the amp as an accessory. It's called Fender Tone, and with that I can control presets and the sound that is produced by the amp. So I'm going to just give a little bit of a demonstration here. So I'm using a preset that I actually downloaded from someone who submitted it to a community portion of the Fender Tone App. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan's Little Wing sound. So see if we can get a little bit of volume, but not too much here. And you can make this thing sound like, so if I want a kind of crunchy sound, there are 200 preset spots stored in the head of the amplifier, and many of them that come preloaded on the guitar amp are just so that you can understand the functionality of the electronics inside of this. So what this amp does is something called amp modeling. Each amplifier cabinet has different electronics and speakers and material that's made out of, and that produces a signature sound. And a lot of gigging musicians or people who record in the studio have come to prefer certain amp sounds over others. So inside of this small little amplifier, you can imitate or model those different sounds. So this is the basic 65 twin from Fender. And there are, there's probably about a dozen or so Fender amps in here. As well as some from other manufacturers. So they don't call them out exactly by name, but there's a basic Brit Watts and a 70s British and an 80s British. And if you're familiar with the history of guitar amplifiers, you got some Vox and some Marshall amplifiers in there. There's some Mesa Boogie sounds, Orange. So you really can imitate those different amplifier sounds. And then on top of that, you also have the ability to create some of the most common effects that a guitar player would maybe add into their signal chain of audio to modify the kind of waveform or sound that's produced by their guitar. So you've got things like vibrato and delay, chorus. You can stitch all of these different effects together in order to create a preset. So I'm going to go find one here. This one's called Tweed Sugar. This one is called Nasty Champ. So this is Fender's Champion Series guitar amplifier. They're small, they're cheap, but they're how a lot of garage bands might start out. And this thing can replicate all those sounds. And what's really cool is not only has Fender found a way to bake all this into the amp, but they've found a way to let you control it via this embedded interface. So there's this encoder switch that lets me cycle through all these sounds. This one is, let's see, let's find a good one here. Purple Fuzz. I forgot how that lick ends, but you get the idea. And I can do all that via the amp, right? It's all there. I can adjust all these settings, replace them with my own settings. I can decide whether I want the effects to happen before the audio goes into the amplifier model or if it comes after. And I can bypass different parts of it during a live show or recording that I'm doing at home if I wanted to change the sound. But they also took the time to develop a smartphone application that lets you do all that via your phone. So I'm going to now, through this, browse through presets on my smartphone because I'm connected to the amp via Bluetooth. This is the master storage location, so everything I do on this is stored here. If I change it here, it's overridden here, and then what is on the app reflects those latest changes. So here, if I pick a new sound like Rockabilly Train from the app, now I'm going to get that sound on the amplifier. And it'll tell me on the app that it's synchronizing with the amplifier. And if I make a change here, so this has the 57 Deluxe cabinet from Fender, it has tape delay, and it's a small room reverb. So if I edit this, let's say I wanted to edit the amount of reverb, I'll kind of go into this mode so you can see. We're going to turn this all the way up to 10. Doesn't go to 11, guys, sorry. then you're going to hear, it feels like the room just kind of got bigger if I dial that back. So now on the amp, it tells me that this has changed. So it's asking me if I'd like to save those changes, and I could save it from either place. So I like that feature. What I think is the coolest thing, especially if we think back to what I said is a problem that Fender has encountered, people who buy a guitar are not likely going to continue playing it beyond the first year. Everyone wants to know how to play songs, right? They don't want to go through the time to learn how to play scales and play chords. They want to skip right to playing songs. So if you think about it, they've given me the ability to stream songs to the amp over Bluetooth. And now they've given me the ability to make my guitar and the amplifier sound like someone else's song. So they very smartly included a feature inside of the app that lets me browse different sounds. So if I wanted an acoustic sound for electric guitars, I could do that. Or if I wanted to play Sweet Child of Mine, like Slash does, I can do that. I can't play it. That would be pretty awesome. Or Stairway to Heaven, which I won't bore you with. Or maybe the main solo from Comfortably Numb, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, right? So now I was just browsing a library, and I found that, and I hit Add to Amp, and now I'm going to get that sound on my guitar. And you can just find all this stuff out there. And if it's not there, you can create it yourself and you can share it with other people in the community, which is pretty cool. I think this really addresses the needs of a person who's learning, or maybe a person like me who, you know, in the last 10 years prior to getting this, I played my guitar maybe 10 times a year. Now I'm trying to play it every day because this looks like a modern, nice piece of equipment. It's small. I have it sitting on a cabinet in our living room. I have my guitar sitting out because the guitar looks good. And I just can grab it and play for a little bit. There's been a series of firmware updates and app updates. The first few days that I was using this, it was riddled with lots of bugs where the app and the amp would be out of sync with each other and presets would like disappear or duplicate. There were all kinds of software bugs with it. But the idea of having this physical product that can just update itself over the internet, and over time, those issues are being worked out. It's pretty exciting, especially if we think about all the work that we do for our clients. One thing I forgot to mention, because I'm still learning how to use this, is that there's an accessory foot switch. So this 40-watt amp, the 100 watt version that's above this one in the lineup, do not come with this foot switch. The 200-watt amp does come with it. And what is cool about the foot switch is that it allows you, if you can figure out how to use it, which I'm still learning, to kind of bank up and down through the different presets, turn some of the effects on and off. If you want to just modify the tone, you can create set lists and you can kind of go through your set list with this. And you can also access the tuner from the foot switch so that while you're getting ready to play or maybe perform, if you're in a small venue, you can see the tuner down there. But there's a feature that's only accessible via the foot switch, and that is a looper function. So actually, Mark and I were taking a look at this earlier. I haven't gotten very familiar with it yet, but with the looper function, I can record a bit of guitar playing, which I'll try to do here to finish up our demo. And now I can play over the top of that, and you can keep on layering sounds. You can tell it's not perfect. I have to get used to the timing of it, but I think it's really going to change the way I use my guitar. I'm going to be able to make songs, not just play the songs that I like, and hopefully it will unleash some more creativity in me and keep me practicing the skill that I haven't been honing for a long time.
Right.
So this is here if anyone wants to try it out. I do have headphones which you can plug in, so if you're wanting to try it out in private, you can plug in here and feel free. I can reset it to the factory presets. You're not going to ruin anything that I have set up on the guitar, okay? On the amp.